Hello, my name is Carol May Whittick. Welcome to another week of Higher Energetic Resonance Inspirations. This week, the subject is empathy, feeling emotions. Now, we all have the capacity for empathy, and in these times of increasing division, it's even more important for us to remember that it is within us to do all that we can to express more empathy. So this week I'm examining what empathy is and what it is not, and also looking at the darker aspects and the vulnerabilities of empaths and highly sensitive people. From James Baldwin: you think that your pain and your heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read, it was books that taught me that the things that tormented me the most were the very things that connected me with all the people who were alive or who had ever been alive. And at the end there is a combination of a breathwork and visualisation, and this is created for you to be still and recognise the sensation of your presence, especially if you feel overwhelmed. So an interesting beginning is to just find out where empathy as a word comes from. And empathy is from a Greek word known as empatheia, which means physical affection. Then if you break the word down to its roots, you have en, which signifies at or in, and the word pathos, which means feelings, so in feelings. And then Robert Vischer and Hermann Lotz together created the German term, and forgive me, I've tried to find somewhere that could help me pronounce this, so my apologies to my German brothers and sisters. Einfühlung, which means feeling into. And in the year 1909, Edward B. Titchener coined the term empathy by translating the word to English. Henry Ford: if there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from his angle as well as your own. So what is empathy? Empathy is emotional understanding, being able to see from another person's perspective. Empathy is when you really understand the feelings of another, even if you don't necessarily share them. You're good at reflection and understanding, of connection, of feeling. Often you're a good listener. You'll find that people will often tell you about their problems or come to you for advice. Also, there's this urge and this wanting to help others who are suffering. And also, you probably tend to feel overwhelmed by tragic events. So often confused with empathy is sympathy, and sympathy is very different. Sympathy is feeling sorry for other people, being engulfed by feelings, feeling pity, and also putting them into a victim status. And in my exploration of empathy, I found that there are many different types of empathy and three core ones that are described. Cognitive empathy, which is understanding the reasons for someone's emotions, but it's a purely intellectual understanding of their emotional state. Then emotional and somatic empathy, which is being able to identify with the emotion. And then compassionate or affective empathy, which is understanding the emotion and acting as a result of the emotion. Over the years, there's been a popularization of people identifying as empath, probably more so than ever before. I believe we all have empathy. Then there are some people who would then go as far as to describe themselves as empathic, highly empathic people. This is not to take away from the very real awareness, but to own and empower ourselves. We have to be cautious when it comes to using such terms, just to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in a position of superiority or victimhood even, and expecting special treatment from the world. Understand that we all are here to feel feelings, and maybe some are more highly tuned. So then when people are describing themselves as highly empathic, they do tend to be more connected to their emotional and energetic states and are extremely self-aware. They are also very highly sensitive to others' emotions, They know when someone is not okay, whether they're in the presence of that person or not. And also they will know when people are lying. They are very in tune with the energy of the room, but also the energy of society, and especially in the times that we're in when the energies fluctuate on a week-on-week, almost day-on-day basis. Empaths will also be deeply unsettled by violence, and in this period of discovering the truth and the reality of some of the darker aspects of the world, a lot of empaths find themselves having real difficulty in being able to separate themselves from the information that's coming out in order to inform themselves, but then not being drawn into too much pain and too much suffering because you over-relate or you deeply relate with the people who have gone through some of the darkest aspects of what is happening in our world at the moment. You may also find that people take advantage of your good nature because of your empathic nature. And you have to ask as well is, if you're being open, is it making you too vulnerable? A quote from Matteo Sol, who wrote a book called Awakened Empath, The Ultimate Guide to Emotional, Psychological and Spiritual Healing. Empaths feel more deeply, more intensely, and more persistently than those around us. We even feel what other people are afraid to feel within themselves. In my research into empathy and empaths, one of the sources that I was listening to is a very well-known doctor, Dr. Romani, who is probably one of the leading voices on narcissistic personality disorder. And one of the things that I discovered from her was the dark empath. And the dark empath is somebody who uses cognitive empathy to gather information, but then use your vulnerabilities as weapons and attacks later. So if you've ever had the fortune or misfortune, whichever way you want to see it, of being entangled with a narcissist as an empath, you will recognize that occasionally, or maybe more than occasionally, you will share with them, and because they understand that empaths are so open and they drink from them, and I'll delve a little bit deeper into this relationship dynamic in a moment, that they take it as bait and use your vulnerabilities later down the line. We also see this in politicians who are making promises, who are telling us they understand how we feel, and yet are using our problems to then create a reaction and a solution that is rarely for our better good. And also unscrupulous business. I think if we look at the way that marketing is, for the most part, it plays on our vulnerabilities, especially when it comes to things like healthcare and beauty products, playing on their insecurities, creating a sense of want and lack with them, and then using that then to profit. From Alethea Luna: one of the easiest ways to discover if someone is compatible with you is to gauge their emotional intelligence. Are they a kind and sensitive person? Will they be respectful towards your sensitivities? Or are they emotionally stunted? Remember that we tend to attract narcissistic types who lack empathy. And the reason for the prevalence of the empath and narcissistic relationship dynamic is because empathic people are always giving and the narcissist always takes. And because empaths are so feeling and so compassionate and always giving, they will make a lot of excuses for a narcissist's bad behaviour and write a story about their background and how hard they had it, and that's why they're wounded, and they just need love, and miss the red flags of somebody's persistent bad behaviour. And narcissists will just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and become more abusive. An empath will end up usually overgiving, getting lost, losing themselves, then feeling guilty about leaving. And then there is another empathic trait I found out about. This is the super empath. And I believe that, and some people I've seen it call supernova empath, it's when you just get pushed too far and you then discover within yourself as an empath that it's time to turn all that hate and pain and get yourself out of that situation. So you're noticing patterns of abuse, you're connecting dots, you're becoming now hyper vigilant to what is going on, and you're reflecting more on what you're actually seeing, noticing that person's behaviour as opposed to kind of projecting into the future and their potential. Everyone has potential, very few people live up to it, and in particular, a narcissist. When you're in this supernova empath stage, you're becoming more unreactive to the abuse because you're building confidence, you're realising and recognising and honouring your own self-worth. And then you find the strength to shoot off into the sky and step away. So for anyone who feels that they would like to develop more empathy with themselves, and we can all benefit from doing this, is trying to connect with people, especially people with different beliefs from different backgrounds from us, to learn about the way that they live. If you're able to travel more, speaking from my own experience, is the more that I travel, the more that I realise that people are all the same, as different as their lifestyles may be. They all feel the same things, and there's a way of connecting to people even if you don't speak a word of their language. There's a language of understanding energy and emotion. Listen more, learn to listen more without the need to respond. And this in itself is holding and learning to hold space for someone and giving them the confidence to feel that they're able to share with them, and then also invite them to share more by maybe asking more questions, and again withhold on the need and the feeling that you want to kind of jump in and respond and try and fix that person. Just be open. Do something that's out of your comfort zone that someone else does, so that you kind of understand other people's motivations and reasons for doing things. Like, why do people want to jump off cliffs? What is it about that? But maybe if you have a rope, jumped off a cliff, you will understand the reasons for that exhilaration. So putting yourself in different people's shoes will open you up to just understanding the different perspectives and the different reasonings that people have for the things that they do, whether they are things that we conceive of as bad, or things that people do for fun and enjoyment. Be curious, ask questions. Another one which is really good is to read more character-based fiction. When you get immersed in reading a book, which probably so few of us do these days, you really get to, if it's a well-written book, I would say, you really get to feel into the movement and the journey of that character or those characters within a tale from start to finish, especially when they're elated, when they're going through sorrow, when they're frightened. Just by reading a book, you can feel how that pulls you through all different emotional states, and you'll come away with just a deeper understanding of another path that can be taken in life. And also allow yourself to be vulnerable, opening up and allowing yourself to show a deeper and more hidden side of yourself will invite other people to do the same. And in that more open awareness, real magic can happen. There are, unfortunately, negative traits that can affect the empath. We can feel overwhelmed. We can feel frustration, overly tired, the need to cut and run sometimes because situations become so overwhelming, or we find that it's affecting us on an emotional and nervous system level, that we become deeply dysregulated. Sometimes also developing a victimized outlook on life. It's like, I'm feeling so much, I can't be in the world, it's too bad. This is where we need to recognize that empathy and being an empath is a state that is needed in this world, but not allowing it to completely crush your ability to be in the world. From Anton St. Martin, Empaths did not come into this world to be victims. We came to be warriors. Be brave, stay strong. We need all hands on deck. Althea Luna. As empaths, our high level of sensitivity means that we're prone to feeling like eternal outsiders who are in the world but not quite of the world. From Jennifer Elizabeth Moore, her book Empathic Mastery, a 5-step system to go from emotional hot mess to thriving success. Periods of extreme challenge or trauma can also wreak havoc on filters and shields. After the intense ordeal, the energy body may be damaged or depleted. It then becomes more vulnerable and more susceptible to leaks in the protective bubble. Empaths need to cultivate self-care. This can include empowering yourself. Think about the mindset that you've adopted because you identify yourself as an empath. Make sure that it's not a victim or wilting flower mindset. Identify if any of your core wounds are being triggered, either from childhood, from any unresolved traumatic experiences, from past lives as well. And core wounds and deep wounding is one of my future episodes, and I will delve deeper into that. Create boundaries and be solid in your boundaries as well. So with people who you feel that are not hearing you, who are not meeting you, especially if you have communicated to them that certain behaviours are not okay, then kind of minimise your time. Create boundaries around what media you're consuming. Is it triggering? Is it also too overly sympathetic and kind of pulling you into a pain state too much? Recognise when you are being abused and how things and how people make you feel. So people within your core circle of influence and family and peers and colleagues. And also what we are noticing more and more now in the world, that there is an abusive dynamic between people who have been allowed a position of authority and power. This is something that all of us in this world need to recognise so that we can start to empower ourselves and understand that, yes, having empathy and being an empath is a vital ability, and we shouldn't quash that away. We're dealing with people who, for very many reasons that I don't need to go into right now, tend not to have empathy within them. It's not a trait that they possess. They don't understand it, and they also would view it as a weakness. Understand that you don't need to save and rescue anybody. Just feel into and question yourself. Why do you think that you need to do that? Why do you have the need to be the saviour in every situation? How are you helping people by swooping in at the vital moment? Are you giving them the opportunity to grow by doing that all the time? Take time to be alone when needed. There is a great meditation at the end for finding your presence, and use that to be still, come back into your body, and also connect to your higher self. Look after yourself on a physical, emotional level as well. Take care of your body in terms of strengthening your body, exercise, being in nature, and feeding yourself well. Recognise your self-worth and self-love, and know that your love deserves reciprocation. And if that's not being met, allow yourself to step away. The aim is to be empathic and powerful. To close with a quote from Matthias Soll again, from the Awakened Empath, The Ultimate Guide to Emotional, Psychological and Spiritual Healing book. Dear empath, you are a being of immense depth, wisdom and compassion. You are a pioneer and a trailblazer of humanity, a model for others on how to be sensitive and powerful. All the strength and love you need is already within you, waiting to be discovered. Thank you so much. That was a fun one. I say this every week, but it's true. I really enjoy choosing a subject, and I've got a list of subjects, so I'm not going to run out anytime soon. But just taking more time to spend a few days of researching and writing and putting these programs together, and then feeling into what I think is a useful practice to have at the end of that, to either help to deepen more into it or to kind of release away, whichever it may be. So thank you so much, and I hope you got something from it. If you need to contact me, my email is info@carolmaywhittick.com, my website carolmaywhittick, CarolMaywhittick. The same name is how you can connect with me on Facebook, and Kazmick, CAZMICK, on Instagram, and Her Conversations and Inspirations is the Telegram group. Enjoy this practice. Connect again next week. Bye. This meditation is created using a combination of breathwork and visualization. It is created for you to first be still and recognize the sensation of your presence. Once there, we will then powerfully amplify the feeling so that wherever you are, you are. The solfeggio frequency included in this track is 963 Hz, which takes us to the highest plane of consciousness. This frequency connects us with the perfection of the universe, allowing us to tap into the oneness that permeates everything that is and that will be. Find yourself in a comfortable position. You can be seated on a chair on the floor. You can even choose to lie down. And first, we just want to become aware of our body, become aware of any tension that we might be holding, any pain that we might be feeling. And first become aware of where you are, not to be distracted by it, but to acknowledge that this is where you are right now, acknowledging your presence in this physical space. And as we scan our body, just to release any tension that we may be holding from the feet. If you want to, you can just wiggle your toes. Maybe just press the big toe deeper into the ground so that you feel that you are here. And just conjure a feeling of relaxation and release. And you can invite that feeling of release to journey up the body. So from your feet, this release is moving up your ankles, up your calves, to your knees. And as it moves through, it is just washing away any tension and just leaving you in a state of relaxation. Past the knees, up to the thighs, to the hips, releasing any tension we might be holding in the lower back, up to the belly. That wave of relaxation and release moves up, past the chest, over your heart center, up to the shoulders, and just feel it release any tension, any way you may be holding yourself tightly. Allow that to fly away. Feel the tension release all the way down your arms, your elbows, and to your hands. Allow your fingers to just fall open naturally. And back to your neck area. See that there's nothing held there. You may want to just circle your neck and just feel that everything is released. And to your face, no tension in the jaw, no tension in the lips, no tension in the cheeks. Let the eyelids be gently closed over your eyes. No tension in the forehead. Release any tension you're feeling in your scalp. And feel how your physical body is in this space. Be aware of where you are physically without any tension. And for the next few minutes, I will just guide you in a gentle breathwork pattern, just so that you can really learn to connect to your inner space and deeply experience calm. It will be 3 counts, breathing in, holding for 6 counts, and then a slow exhalation of 9 counts. I will guide you through that. So let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Relax. Feel how you feel in this moment. Feel how calm you feel. A quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is the only moment. When you meditate, the silence of the senses illumines the presence of God within. And just for a few moments, if you can imprint the feeling that you're feeling right now in your body, that sense of calm, that sense of presence in every aspect of your spiritual being and in every aspect of your physical being. And just call to mind somewhere that you would need to be, where holding this sense that you are feeling now would empower you and also inspire others. You may want to visualize yourself in your work setting. Imagine walking in and see yourself among your work colleagues in your place of work, having a conversation that may normally be difficult, but instead of feeling any tension or anxiety or feeling less than confident, feeling distracted, making assumptions about what that other person may say, bringing this sense, the sense that you're feeling now in that space. You may need to meet a family member, be in a situation that would normally cause you to be knocked off center, triggered, upset, angry, anxious. But you know, because you can feel it now, the sense of being present in yourself. And imagine bringing that sense of being present in yourself, your presence, into those situations. Call to mind this feeling at any time. If you can feel it now, know that you can bring it anywhere that you need it. This is the truth of who you are. This is the core of who you are. You deserve to be in this space as much as possible. And the world deserves to see you in your presence at all times.